It's catchy. I love it. It's a good tune. Hey everyone, this is Nir Bashan, author of The Creator Mindset, a McGraw-Hill release. I am so happy to be on this show with thought leaders from around the world, helping you become the best leader you can possibly become. And speaking of thought leader, we have Hans Norden, who published a book called The Root Cause, Rethink Your Approach to Solving Stubborn Enterprise-Wide Problems. Hans, welcome to the show.
Oh, well, hi, Nigel. So good to see you, and thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, we are super excited. We're going to dive right in, Hans. My first question is, why is this book so important right now?
Well, there is a lot going on in organizations. They are getting more and more complex. Whether that is technology or using more internet, and so complexity is really becoming a problem. And if you don't understand how the organization works, then you don't know what to do with the problems that you are facing. Another thing that we see is that we forget the importance of humanity. Right? We are focusing so much on economic principles. But then a lot of the problems that organizations face, for example, they're talking about the war for talent. A lot of people are looking to leave the organization. And so the reason is, well, if an organization isn't focusing on people, what they need to give them an opportunity to really enjoy their work, they're not going to be engaged. And so what I try to do in the book is really making a plea to knit together the economic principles with humanitarian principles.
Sounds good, Hans. I think that's a wonderful approach. Now, a lot of people say, we could just come up with a couple of quick fixes and move on. But you say, no, you got to attack problems at their very root.
Exactly. And we have to understand, there are problems, for example, that your printer isn't working. That's one thing. But the problems that I'm talking about is really systemic. That means that it is inherent to the way the system was designed, the way it is built, the way it is operated, maintained, and managed. And so that's not something that you can do with a quick fix. Oftentimes we see that the problems arise over many years, and so you cannot expect that you solve that within an hour for under $10,000 and no involvement of management.
This is one of the best researched books that we've had on the show so far, and it is incredibly deep, incredibly nuanced. You have a lot of really great references from people. One of my favorite parts of the book is where you talk about making money, and you put in here, I acknowledge that a large number of business people believe that making money is the purpose of the business, but that's not really the whole story, is it? Tell us more about that, Han.
Well, in very simple terms, if you want to make money, where does the money has to come from? It has to come from your clients, the people that buy your products or services, or the people that use it. And so if you don't give them exactly what they want, then how are you going to make money? And so what we see is that people are manipulating the stock prices on stock buybacks and focusing on that. And you're not really satisfying the customer. And once you do that, once you, what I call becoming the obvious choice supplier, then a lot of costs will go away. You probably know if you need a jacket or new shoes, there is a certain store or a certain brand that you will go for. And you just pay the price because you recognize it's good. So they don't need to do a lot of marketing because you're happy you are the obvious choice.
My guest today is Hans Norden. The Root Cause is the book, Rethink Your Approach to Solving Stubborn Enterprise Problems. And it really is a fresh take on rethinking problems in the business. Hans, a question I ask all my guests is, how does this book make us more creative?
Well, it makes it more creative because it's focusing on understanding how a business works, how it functions as a singular, unique, integrated, and open system. Because if you don't understand what's going on in the business, then how can you be creative? That kind of creativity is what we call trial and error. And if something happens and you have to account for your decisions, then to say, well, I just thought, you cannot show that you have done your homework, right? It may not be the right decision, but at least if you can explain, well, these are the situations that I faced, and consequently this is the decision I took, then you show that you did your homework.
Absolutely. I love it. It's called The Root Cause. Rethink Your Approach to Solving Stubborn Enterprise-Wide Problems. I've marked up the book. This is a deep dive, everybody. A deep dive into a comprehensive look at how to solve those stubborn problems in the business that seem like they will never go away. My guest today is Hans Norden. Hans, thanks for being on the show and thanks for writing a fantastic book.
Thank you so much, Nir.